All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here today. As your county executive, one of my top priorities has been to ensure that the services provided by Wicomico County are delivered efficiently, effectively, and with the highest level of professionalism. Central to that mission is having a dedicated and skilled work staff and workforce in place to meet the needs of our residents. I'd like to take this opportunity to address some key staffing developments and to outline our plans moving forward as we continue to fill essential vacancies across our departments. Over the past couple months, we've made significant strides in attracting and retaining talent to serve our community. I am proud to announce that we have successfully filled key positions, particularly in critical areas such as public works, finance, and public safety. These new hires bring fresh perspectives, valuable experience, and a shared commitment to delivering exceptional services to the people of Wicomico County. I want to start with Adam Corey. Adam worked for the Maryland Department of the Environment and served as the division chief in the on-site systems division. Adam was with the state for 15 years, and he decided that his next chapter in his career would be best served right here in his home county. And I am proud to say that Adam was hired as our Director of Environmental Health. Given the focus on Maryland Department of the Environment's regulations, septic issues, and landfill management, the role of the Director of Environmental Health becomes even more specialized in ensuring environmental compliance and managing crucial infrastructure. Important aspects of this job include public health protection, regulatory compliance, emergency response, and public education outreach. Mr. Corey specifically will be focusing on MDE regulations and compliance, septic system management, and landfill oversight. And in this context, the director is instrumental in maintaining both environmental integrity and public health by enforcing standards and managing systems that directly impact the community's infrastructure. In a department head meeting, he stated, "This is the best job he's ever had." And I encourage any member of the press or the public to chat with him about his experience thus far. I then want to discuss Lori Carter. Lori was our Director of Planning and Zoning, and she worked for our county for 37 years. As of August 30th, 2024, Lori retired from that position, but she will only be able to enjoy her retirement for 45 days, a little less now, as she will be coming back as our grant administrator. A grant administrator plays a crucial role in county government by overseeing the identification, application, management, and reporting of grants that can provide essential funding for public services and infrastructure. And here is why that position is so vital. She will be maximizing funding opportunities, so grant administrators help the county secure external funding from the federal, state, and private sources. This alleviates the reliance on local tax revenue and enhances the county's ability to finance projects such as infrastructure development, public health initiatives, education, and community programs. She will also be ensuring compliance. So oftentimes grants come with very strict regulations and reporting requirements. A grant administrator ensures that the county complies with all rules, avoiding penalties, fines, or the potential need to return the funds. She will also look at the grant management. So this is the life cycle of the grant from pre-award research to post-award reporting. She will also be doing interdepartmental coordination, and this is what's going to be so important, is that we have a lot of different departments that utilize grants, and so she will be able to coordinate those efforts among those departments. She will also be ensuring transparency and accountability, so public trust is important, and the proper management of grant funds ensure transparency and accountability. And the grant administrator oversees the accurate tracking and public reporting of how funds are used, contributing to good governance. And then she will also be looking at sustaining critical programs. So many essential county services rely on grant funding. So a dedicated grant administrator ensures the continuity of these programs by pursuing renewal opportunities and identifying alternative funding sources when needed. So again, we are so thrilled that Lori Carter will be back on the Wicomico team and looking forward to her return in mid-October. Next, I'd like to mention Tracy Taylor. Tracy was just confirmed on Tuesday as our new Director of Planning and Zoning. Tracy also comes from the state where she was serving as the Director for Maryland Department of Planning for the Lower Eastern Shore. She actually started her career in Wicomico County, and we are so grateful that she has decided to return. She truly has a passion for this county and great working relationships with our municipalities. A great director of planning and zoning is essential for county government, as this role shapes the community's growth, development, and land use in a way that balances economic growth with environmental and community needs. Tracy will be focusing on strategic land use planning, regulatory compliance, economic development, community engagement, balancing interests, vision, and innovation. And overall, a strong director of planning and zoning is key to creating a livable, prosperous, and sustainable county, guiding the county through growth and change with foresight and expertise. And we are so thrilled to have Tracy return to us. I also wanted to mention new leadership in our roads department. Scott Green has replaced Lee Alton, who after many years with the county decided to retire. Scott knew that he had large shoes to fill, but has done so with grace, tenacity, and strong leadership. He, along with Ann Powell, our second in command at Roads, have worked side by side, helping continue building our roads department. A department that used to have multiple vacancies, I am proud to say, is almost at full capacity. I want to commend our roads department for their hard work and dedication to this county. Other departments that are at capacity, or almost at capacity, are our emergency services department as well as our sheriff's office. These two departments, for various reasons, including pay, state legislation, culture, and hours, have suffered over the last few years. We have worked very hard to create an atmosphere where our public safety employees feel valued and appreciated. Both of these departments are critical pillars in county government, providing essential public safety services and ensuring the well-being of the community. Lastly, we have also contracted with amazing individuals that have helped us immensely in various aspects of government. First and foremost, we have Wayne Strasberg as a consultant who has such great institutional knowledge as he has worked for every county executive. Wayne chaired the SWOT analysis for EMS, worked on our life expectancy at the landfill, and is currently working on our strategic plan. We also have Amanda Pollock. She has been tasked as the quarterback for the sanitary district here in the county. And lastly, we have Jeannie Hadaway-Riccio, who has been monumental as a liaison between us and the state on multiple issues. So if you hear that employee morale is down or that employees are leaving left and right, that is simply not true. It is a shame that that misinformation has circulated its way through this community. And I am here to tell you that we have built and continue to build an amazing team of people that love this county, that want to serve the public, and that believe in our mission. However, we recognize that there is still more work to be done. Like many other counties across the state, we continue to face challenges in certain positions. One department in particular that was just mentioned at our legislative breakfast is our Department of Corrections. While we have full confidence in our director and her team, we have made efforts to increase pay and improve working conditions, we know we still have work to do. These vacancies, along with any other vacancies in the county, have the potential to impact the delivery of essential services. And that is something we cannot afford to let happen. That is why I'm committed to continue taking proactive steps to ensure that we are fully staffed and that every department has the resources they need to perform at their very best. In the council meeting, just on Tuesday, a percentage was mentioned about employees who have experienced or witnessed harassment, intimidation, and or bullying. I believe this question was flawed because there were no date parameters. What was available, but of course not mentioned, were the comments on this question. Some of the comments included, when I first started by a previous employer 20 years ago, not from administration, but from council. Many years ago, under a different leadership. Not recently, many years ago. Over the years, but not now. I believe those comments paint a very different narrative than what was discussed on Tuesday. I believe it was also mentioned in the council meeting on Tuesday by a councilman that our turnover rate is worse now than ever, and that is just simply not true. In 2014, 17 departments had a turnover rate of 15% or more. In 2021, 10 departments had turnover rates of 15% or more. In 2022, 14 departments had turnover rates of 15% or more. And in 2023, 12 departments had turnover rates of 15% or more. And in 2024, to date, with only 3 months left in the year, only five departments had turnover rates of 15% or more. Now, I was an English teacher, not a math teacher, but 5 is less than 12, 14, 10, and 17. So it seems that people are staying with the county, and I think I know why. During these last 2 years, we have launched a series of new initiatives aimed at addressing the vacancies and improving recruitment efforts across all departments. They include enhanced recruitment efforts. We have expanded our outreach to prospective candidates by increasing our presence on digital platforms, partnering with local educational institutions, and holding career fairs to showcase the opportunities available within the county government. Number 2, competitive compensation and benefits. We understand that in order to attract top talent, we must offer competitive salaries and benefits. For the last 2 years, most employees have had their salaries increased by 11%, and we've also added the option of having our spouses back on our health plans. In this upcoming budget, employees are a top priority, and we hope to continue our yearly raises and benefits. And number 3, employee retention programs. In addition to attracting new hires, we have implemented new employee retention programs to ensure that our current staff feel valued and supported. This includes an Employee of the Month program, leadership training, and programs focused on employee wellness and work-life balance. These initiatives represent our ongoing commitment to strengthening our workforce and ensuring that Wicomico County remains a great place to live, work, and thrive. With the right team in place, we can continue to deliver high-quality services and tackle any of the challenges that lie ahead. Thank you once again to all of our employees for your continued support and dedication to our community. Together, we will continue to build stronger, more efficient, and a more vibrant Wicomico County. Thank you. Now, I had put on my press release that if there was any constituents or any issues, to go ahead and submit questions. And we actually had quite a few questions submitted, so I'm going to try to get through these as quickly as possible. Some of them have to do with the topic at hand, and there were some other topics that people wanted to have some answers to. So I'm going to try to do my best here. So the first question that was submitted. One councilman stated that the county government has a great holiday and annual leave package. Is this true? Because I've heard employees say that it is not that great compared to other counties. So actually, we are very behind various counties and jurisdictions. So back in April, if you check the brief book, a chart was given to our council to show just how far behind we really are. We compared ourselves to 15 different counties and the city of Salisbury. We gave the lowest number of personal days for the year, and 13 counties gave more sick days, just to name a few things. Many of the issues about our holiday and annual leave packages are actually addressed in the new and updated personnel manual that our Director of Human Resources has worked on for over a year. This was a task that the council originally legislated to themselves over 7 years ago and have never updated the manual. The updated manual completed by our HR staff was presented to the county council back towards the beginning of this year. And not only did it address holidays and annual leave packages, but it also incorporated new laws and regulations at the state level. So the council has yet to approve that manual, and so we right now continue to operate still with the 2003 manual. So hopefully that answered that question. I figured I was going to get this. I actually got this from quite a few people. Can you explain question A? So very quickly with question A, and I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Question A was put on the ballot, voted on by the county council in a 5-2 vote to remove the executive office and taking a regressive step backwards to a councilmanic form of government, where the council has the power and then they appoint a county administrator. So we've heard a lot of things about that the council thinks that the executive has too much power, so they think it's a better idea if that one branch of government has the power. The council thinks that the executive branch costs too much money, but actually in some projections, it could potentially cost the county even more money to go backwards. And I just wanted to add this because this just came in. Does anybody know how much just the ad is going to cost the county to run the question along with the new charter in the Daily Times? Does anybody have a guess? $36,000. So $36,000 of taxpayer money is going to be spent on a ballot initiative that the taxpayers did not ask for. So I'm just going to put my plug in because they put their plugs in during the meetings. I don't care if you support me or not, but don't let this council silence your voice or your vote by taking away your elected representation of this county. This is not about right or left, it's about right and wrong. And that's all I'm going to say about that. So the next question was, how did we get the county executive in the first place? Was it done by referendum? And how did they know if the people really wanted it? So there was a point in time where a group of citizens kind of thought that the council had too much power, having all this power in one branch of government. And again, the people, in talking to people, they were tired of having an unelected bureaucrat running the county. And I think the icing on the cake was the 24% tax increase. And so what happened was it does go on the ballot, so the council voted to put it on the ballot, but how they did it was with a straw poll, and that was in 2004. And they wanted to kind of see what that would look like. And it ended up passing overwhelmingly, and so then it officially went on the ballot in 2006. So the people have already voted for this, and they have voted for it twice, in a straw poll and then in the actual poll itself. So there's that. All right. Oh, and he just left. What is this October surprise? I keep seeing this mentioned by one of the council members. So an October surprise. So in a campaign, the October surprise is a tactic used right before the vote. It typically happens when election day used to just be one day. Now we have like election month, right? So when the opposition is losing, they end up becoming a little desperate. And so they will throw anything at the wall to see if it sticks, whether it's true or not. So, over the course of, since this has happened, lots of things have been brought out, lots of accusations have been made. It would just depend. They would say things like, she's misappropriating funds, she's hiring friends, at a $100,000 job, the employee morale is down, doing illegal hires, drinking and driving, having an affair, talking poorly about my child, slaughtering dogs in the streets, maybe even eating cats. Who knows what they're going to say? But all of it's not true, but truth doesn't matter when it comes to an October surprise. So mark my words, pay attention to their meetings in October. Pay attention to their social medias, pay attention to their words, because they will try to take something that is completely innocent or an issue that is in the past and turn it into something nefarious. They're already doing it. We just heard that the council plans to have a work session, the first meeting in October, on, wait for it, Safari at the Quarry. So an event that happened 4 months ago, and this is just to rally troops right before the election. And it's sad, really, because I've known these people for a long time. They have no concern for me. They have no concern for my personal health, for my children, my husband, my staff, my employees. The only people they care about are themselves. They have preached that this is not personal, but mark my words, October, it will be nothing but personal. But as I have said, doing shady tactics like that says more about the content of their character than me. But I know that the people in this county are smarter than this. They will not allow personal attacks to distract them from the issue at hand. This is not about me. This is about the future of this county. And we want to make sure to have checks and balances and a balance of power. All right, so people keep, this is also a funny one that I got. People keep talking about someone who parks in one of the county executive spots. Do you know why there is a concern? This is what I deal with on a daily basis. So anytime an employee is injured, we allow them special parking. They park closer. We've had people with broken, ankles or, torn, ligaments in their shoulder, whatever. And when they're injured, we allow them to park closer to the building. So there was one individual who I am friends with who was injured in the line of duty. He works over at the courthouse. Typically, light duty assignments are not given at the courthouse, but in this case, it is. So he broke his wrist in the line of duty, and rather than walking with all of his stuff from the parking garage, I allowed him to park in one of my spots. We do this for all employees. It's actually like a nice thing that we do. We don't make them walk across, all these different things. So I don't understand why that was a big deal. But any employee that gets hurt, Adam, if you hurt yourself, you'll be able to park closer. So just so you know. Why do you not, I got this a couple times too, why do you not attend the council meetings any longer? So this is a county council meeting. It's not an executive meeting. I'm not really given any time to respond on any topic, and as a matter of fact, it was said to me that I'm no different than any other individual in the room. So with that mindset and the lack of respect, there's no need for me to be in those meetings. The council, though, just so you know, the council meetings are a lot of times the last step in a very long process. So they are the final stamp of approval on many things. So a lot of times, all of this preliminary work has already been done. And many times, we've been working on issues for months, and it makes it to the county council, and it's done and over with in a 30-second vote. So a lot of times, I don't really feel like I need to be there for that. So, and I'm going to say it, and as long as they don't follow their own rules about personal attacks and hateful rhetoric, I will not attend. I will not be a part of that. All right, another question was, I've got two more, is explain to the people on the west side what exactly happened in the council meeting about Barron Creek. So this is just very simple. The council voted to remove it from the transportation priority letter. It was a little frustrating because the majority of the west side wants this bridge fixed, but either way, not doing anything, and in this case, we just asked for a study for it to be done, so this bridge was washed out in 2016 by a really bad storm. All we were asking for was a study, but right now, the way the bridge sits right now, or the lack of the bridge, the way the road sits is like very actually hazardous and unsafe. So if someone was to go down there and really hurt themselves, the county would be held responsible. It's a county road. So it was, in my mind, I didn't make the decision, but it was completely irresponsible for us to remove it just to ask for a study. So I know we're looking at a couple of other things with that. So, but right now it's not in our transportation priority letter. And then the council complained about hate mail and personal attacks. Do you find this ironic considering they personally attack you every meeting and allow constituents to do the same? So I'm sorry you all got hate mail. Join the club. Whether it's mail or email, I have had constituents send some really not nice letters about their frustrations. And I'm sorry that happened to you because it does kind of suck. So some are signed and some are anonymous. But you just have to remember that you are never going to please everyone, and just take it with a grain of salt. You have to move on, and I'm sorry that you feel attacked, but I hope maybe you'll feel some empathy as to how I feel or how my employees feel when they're attacked by constituents or by you guys. So I'm sorry that happened, though, because it makes it rough. It really does. Because, again, you think that you're doing the right thing. You're sitting up here, you have to make hard decisions, or I'm in my office making hard decisions, and people are going to be critical all the time. So I'm sorry you went through that, but I've gone through that, so I can empathize with you on that. So, all right, those were all the questions that I had submitted. I know we're on a tight time frame in here, but if the media has any questions, I would be more than willing to answer anything you guys have. We have about like 5 minutes. Yeah, Hunter.
I was just going to ask, just to sort of tie the two topics that were discussed here today.
Sure.
How much do you feel that the executive position helps in the hiring process?
I think a lot. I mean, I think having well, do you mean the position in general or just like?
To have an executive form of government versus a council and hiring for, all these department heads and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's very beneficial. I mean, the people that we've been able to bring in are because of the leadership that we have here. When you're bringing in people from the state level, and I can only take in like who I've brought in and who my administration has brought in, I think that speaks volumes for it. Not saying that it wouldn't happen under a councilmanic form of government, but speaking from my experience, we were able, especially in these last two hires, we're able to pull people from the state that are going to be monumental. So I would say yes. I work very closely with HR, all the time, helping them vet candidates, kind of going through, does this candidate look like they sort of match our vision? So I think having that one point person, I think is really invaluable. I mean, it's valuable. So, yes. Go ahead, Joe.
Hi, Joe White from Open Agenda. Are you disputing the report that the internal auditor, Anjali Chantel, turned in to the county council on Tuesday? Are you saying it's a flawed report?
I don't think it was a flawed report. I think that there were parts that were manipulated, and I think that there was some data that wasn't shared. So I think if...
Manipulated it.
Well, I think when it was spoken, I think that you have to do a complete picture. So that's why I think it's important. So when we're talking about, the question that talks about employees that are being harassed or they feel intimidated, I think it's important to note that there wasn't a time frame on there, and that most of the people who commented said, not with this administration, 20 years ago. Like, I think that those are really vital, because when you don't say those things, when you omit those things, it makes it seem like that's currently happening. So to me, I think leaving things out doesn't paint a complete picture for citizens. So that's why I wanted to make sure to include those comments.
In her report, she references an 8% turnover 2 years ago and a 23% turnover now in public works. Are you disputing that those numbers are not accurate?
No, I'm not necessarily disputing that, but I'm also talking about, you can present data any way you want to. You can present it any way you want to, just like the way that I just did. So,
Manipulated?
I'm sorry.
Do you think that data was manipulated?
No, I don't necessarily think it's manipulated at all. But we have had turnover rate. But when we get to the point where we have a almost filled department, I think that those are the things that need to be celebrated too. So I think if you're talking about turnover, where are our vacancies as well? I just feel like that I'm not disputing numbers by any means. Numbers are black and white. But I do think that there is more of a story that needs to be painted here, because the way that it was presented to me, or the way that when I watched the meeting, made it seem very negative. And I don't know why anybody would want to put our county in a negative light when there's so many things to celebrate. So if it was painted with a complete picture, I wouldn't be sitting in this chair today. So I think that there are a lot of things to celebrate rather than always looking for the negative.
I have one more question.
Okay.
And I won't ask any more.
No, you're fine. We just have a time crunch, that's all. You're fine.
Just recently had a vacancy come up in the local board manager, the director leaving. Mm-hmm. Can you speak to that, why he left, and what your plan is to replace him?
So I can't really speak on why he left, because that's a personnel matter and we don't put those out in the public. But we have already had really great candidates filling in, and actually one person who actually works in local management board applied. So still a lot of great things going on over there. We have a lot of great candidates. I am not going to be part of the hiring process on this. I'm helping going through the applications, but I typically remove myself so I'm not jaded on anything. So I kind of let a team of people come in. We will also have part of the local management board be a part of that hiring process.
But he had only been in his position for less than 1 year. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes. All right. Any other questions?
Can you take one from me?
Well,
Not me,
you didn't really submit it.
Mr. Corey, you mentioned he's going to have septic tank management.
Septic tank oversight. Yeah, he's working with the health department.
That falls under the health department.
Right.
What his involvement is going to be in that, I guess.
Sure. Adam, do you mind answering?
Certainly. Preliminarily, Mr. Holloway, what I'm doing is working with our partners at the health department and also with the state of Maryland as we work for septic elimination in areas of the county that we've identified for public sewer and water.
So it's not septic tank management. I mean, you're not trying to help people.
So there is a program within planning and zoning that does have grant monies that supplement current grant programs with the State Bay Restoration Fund program that we are working internally here with planning and zoning on. That's on a relatively small scale. Beyond that, we partner with our partners across the street at the health department for the identification of areas in the county that need help from a septic standpoint.
That's been a major problem.
Yes, sir.
For people in rural areas.
Yes, sir.
Just trying to get a septic tank. We're water.
Correct.
100 years now. Okay,
So we're looking into all those kinds of things for the future, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, well, thank you all for coming, and I hope you have a great day.